Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new TCG video, and today guys, we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 best decks to come out of Ultra Prism. Now, I haven't done a top 5 in a long time, so if you guys do want to see more top 5 videos, definitely leave a comment and a like on this video to show that you guys like top 5s. And we're going to be doing the top 5 best decks to come from Ultra Prism, as stated before, and I'm going to be providing deck lists. Usually, I have like a bit of a waste way of doing it, you know, I'll just show the cards and like, oh yeah, you know, when I do my best decks in standard format type videos. Well, I'm actually going to be providing you deck lists. So here we go. Starting things off at number 5, guys. This is going to be a big surprise. I'm going to be doing this a little unprofessionally. But at number 5 is going to be Garchomp Lucario. Now, Garchomp Lucario is a very interesting deck. I don't think it's a great deck. But you know what? Of all the Ultra Prism decks we have to work with, this is probably barely making the list. It definitely wouldn't make a top 10 best decks in the format video. I don't even think this deck will perform that well, but it is still a very good deck to come out of this set because, one, this deck is very easy to make. You can buy it from the shop. It's easy to play. It's very synergetic with Lucario's ability and Garchomp and Cynthia. Unfortunately, it's a little slow, and with Zoroark and stuff running amok, this deck will have a hard time really making it to the top. But this is still a decent enough deck, I think, to be able to make the top 5 video of Ultra Prism decks. This is just Ultra Prism. There's not really that many great decks to come out of this set that are going to impact the format. I think this one has a decent chance of doing so. This and Dugtrio were like honestly kind of thinned out as to which one was better. It was either going to be this or Dugtrio for my number 5 spot. Ultimately, I think Garchomp has the potential to be good. Just right now it's a little slow, but it does make the number 5 spot. And going in at our number 4 spot is Empoleon, guys. Empoleon, in my opinion, is a very decent deck. And honestly, with the performance it could have very soon, this could easily take the number 3 spot. It was a bit of a tie between what I wanted at my number 3. It was either going to be what my number 3 was, or it was going to be Empoleon. Ultimately, I decided Empoleon might be worse off, mainly because it is a bit of a slower paced deck, and I haven't really tested how this deck does against Zoroark Lycanroc. But honestly, I think this deck has a lot of potential to be a pretty strong deck. This could be the new Greninja if, you know, the format shifts properly. Empoleon has a lot of things you can work with. It is a little clunky since there's a lot of things you need to run, like Aqua Patch and a bunch of Pokemon and supporters and rare candies. But ultimately, Empoleon can be perfected and potentially can be arguably one of the best non-GX based decks in the format, if not the best. This could easily beat Greninja and take the place as the best non-GX EX based Pokemon deck that is very, very threatening to play against. I think this is going to be the new Greninja. Potentially, Greninja might still be better, but this deck does have a lot of potential. Empoleon almost has no weakness, because I don't think many people are going to be playing Raichu, Pachirisu because of how just relevant fighting is right now. Everyone's going to be wanting to play fighting because of how good Zoroark is. So Empoleon has an advantage that it doesn't have much of a weakness. It's basically weak to nothing, which is really, really good and works in its favor. It can get good one-shots. There's a lot of tech cards you can play. There's different Empoleon variants. The one I'm going with is just straight Empoleon. A subscriber suggested to try out an Empoleon Garbodor deck, which I might make a video on very soon, because this is a very interesting concept too with Empoleon. So we'll see what Empoleon deck makes its place in this format, but I do think Empoleon has the most potential out of all the non-GX EX decks like Dugtrio and Garchomp. I think this deck has the most potential to be the best non-GX EX deck in the format, and that's that. At our number 3 spot is a Leafeon deck, and it's got to be Leafeon Decidueye. I really wanted to see more Leafeon variants explode. I'm pretty sure this weekend or something like that, there's a tournament that does have legal Ultra Prism cards, and Ultra Prism will be used in that tournament. And I'm hoping we see more creative Leafeon decks, because this card is the most creative GX we got in Ultra Prism. There's so many combinations you can play this with. And I am testing out my Leafeon Galley deck, which I do want to get a video out on that very soon, maybe before this weekend, because I have a strong feeling about that deck. But this Leafeon Decidueye deck just seems to be the most popular Leafeon variant. It's the one that I play against the most when I'm playing against Leafeon. It's going to be Leafeon Decidueye. Now, I've stated my opinion on this deck before. I don't really like it that much. I do think this deck is very flawed. It has a bit of an awkward Volk matchup. Its numbers is a little awkward, but it is still a very tanky deck and can be very deadly if it kind of gets going. I do think, if anything, you could modify. You probably do want to play a 2-2 Zoroark line. I think, if anything, guys, you could probably go 3-3, maybe 4-3, and then fit in a second Zoroark line. I think Zoroark is honestly one of the most important cards you can put in this deck. I think you need a 2-2 Zoroark line. You can play aggressive with Zoroark and Decidueyes because it's easy to build them up with Leafeon's attack. Or you can go a little more tactical and spam them with Feather Arrow and then come in with Espeon. So there's ways you can play this deck that make it work. And I think it's honestly just more of an updated Zoroark Decidueye deck, if anything. Because I do treat this deck like Zoroark Decidueye, because I do think you need more Zoroarks in here. The list that I used was not my favorite list because I only ran the 1-1 line. I didn't even play 4 DCEs. So I do think Leafeon Decidueye does have a lot of potential, but I want to see more Leafeon variants pop up. There's a lot of Leafeon decks that are getting, talked right now. There's Leafeon Lurantis, there's Leafeon Venusaur. There's, there are some Leafeon decks right now that are making a buzz, and I do think Leafeon Decidueye is probably the most talked. It's probably going to be the one people tested out the most. It's the most played Leafeon deck I've seen, so it's definitely going to be the best Leafeon variant. And Leafeon, I think, has a lot of potential to be a very explosive card, especially when we get more Stage 2 Pokemon. Leafeon could be a very big card in the format. At our number 2 spot, guys, is going to be Glaceon with Zoroark. And yes, I know I do not have a third Glaceon. Shout out to DJ Believe, by the way, for the Glaceon. But anyways, Leafeon Zoroark does seem to be the best did I just say Leafeon? I meant Glaceon, sorry. Glaceon Zoroark seems to be the best Glaceon variant right now. I do think Glaceon Zoroark has the most potential. I like my Leafeon Ninetales. Why do I keep calling Glaceon Leafeon? Glaceon Ninetales is one of my... It's probably my favorite way to play it. I don't know how I feel about the Zoroark variant, but Glaceon does have potential here, and it's obviously going to be a very impactful card. Now, again, because of Metal is so popular, and anyone can just play in a Alolan Dugtrio deck for the memes, this deck will just auto-lose to that, probably. So you're probably not going to have a good matchup. Glaceon gets smoked by Metal, and Metal is popular, and you probably already know what the number 1 spot on this video is. But Glaceon definitely has the most potential. It's probably with Zoroark. But again, there's Quad Glaceon that's getting some talk. I kind of want to test it out, to be honest. It sounds interesting. Glaceon Ninetales. This is my favorite way to play Glaceon right now. And this could be the best Glaceon variant. Who knows? There's Glaceon Decidueye. There's probably more Glaceon decks that people have come up with. But ultimately, Glaceon Zoroark is going to be the most impactful of the Glaceon decks. And I do think this one will be the biggest one. And at our number 1 spot, before I get there, I got an honorable mention. The first one is just going to be a Alolan Dugtrio. Obviously, I got to put this on. This is actually a very strong deck. This deck is not as bad as people may think. It's pretty good, and you'd be surprised how good this deck is. I've actually been wrecked by this deck like many times. So Dugtrio, definitely the most funniest deck to come out of this set. Maybe Rotom, actually, but it is just, it's just a funny looking card. But yeah, I'm actually putting Dugtrio, and I'm going to mention, again, this or Garchomp were going to make the list. Ultimately, I went with Dugtrio because it's the most meme-worthy, and I guess just as another honorable mention, I'm going to put my Solgaleo, Dustmane, Solgaleo Prism Star deck as an honorable mention. But anyways, our number 1 spot, you guessed it, most likely, it is indeed going to be Magnezone with Dustmane Necrozma. I have not yet edited my list, because I know a lot of people on my video were like, yo, you need like Octillery, you need something. But yes, I think Magnezone Dustmane Necrozma is going to be the best deck to come out of this set. Hands down, it is a very, very powerful deck. I have beaten it with Empoleon before, but this deck definitely deserves to be the best deck from the set. It's so good, it's powerful, it's really hard to stop. Magnezone's HP is actually really relevant when you're playing in Zoroark. It's even weak to fire, so like the weakness is already not even a big deal because you're already weak to fire, so your Evolve matchup's a little iffy, but this deck, in my opinion, is the most potential-filled deck to come out of the set, and I wouldn't be surprised if this deck took home a few wins. Is it a game-changing deck? Yeah, I think it's okay, but I don't think this deck maybe even will take first place. I don't know, we'll see what happens when the next tournament comes out with Ultra Prism, and I want to see if this deck ends up winning. It could very well win. But thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. I'm actually going to wrap it up. I don't want to make this video 10 minutes. But anyways, wrapping up today's video, that was my top 5 list. What are your top 5, in your opinion, for the best decks out of Ultra Prism? And yeah, again, I think it's Garchomp, Empoleon, Leafeon Decidueye, Glaceon Zoroark, Dustmane Necrozma, Metagross. Best decks from Ultra Prism. There you go. And I guess Luxio could be an honorable mention. I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like. Subscribe on the road to 3K subs, and I'll see you guys on another PTCGO video. Peace out.